Hi everyone, I'm Jeanette Brown and I help people coach themselves to an epic retirement. Now today I want to share something crucial about retirement that could literally make or break your golden years. I recently came across this concept that completely changed how I think about retirement, and I need to share it with you. You know how everyone dreams about retirement, those lazy days on the beach, the endless rounds of golf, finally having all the time in the world to just relax. Well, what if I told you that this dream could actually turn into your worst nightmare? Now stay with me, because in the next few minutes, I'm going to reveal the number one thing you absolutely must avoid in retirement. And not only that, but I'll share a powerful formula I learned from one of the world's leading experts on finding purpose in life. A formula that could transform your retirement from just existing to truly living. So let me tell you a story. Last month, I was talking to a friend, Michael. He'd been retired for about 2 years, and something he said really stuck with me. He told me, I used to dream about having nothing to do. Now that I have it, it's killing me. Now, Michael had fallen into the trap I'm going to warn you about today. So what is this retirement killer? And I call it the vacation mentality. That's my term for it, because that's exactly what it feels like. You're stuck in permanent vacation mode, and it's devastating lives across the globe. Here's what happens. You retire with good plans of endless leisure. The first few weeks feel amazing. You're sleeping in, you're watching TV whenever you want, maybe doing some traveling. But then something starts to happen. That feeling of freedom slowly transforms into something else. You start feeling empty, purposeless. Each day starts blending into the next. This is what happened to Michael. He told me how he went from being excited about retirement to feeling completely lost within just a few months. His skills were gathering dust, his sense of purpose had vanished, and worst of all, he felt like he had nothing meaningful to contribute anymore. The research on this is shocking. Studies show that retirees without a sense of purpose are 3 times more likely to develop depression. They have a 50% higher risk of cardiovascular disease, and their cognitive decline accelerates at a much faster rate. This isn't just about being bored, it's about your mental and physical health. But here's where it gets interesting. While researching how to avoid this trap, I discovered the work of Richard Leider. Now, he's a pioneer in the field of purpose and retirement planning, and what he shared completely changed my perspective on retirement. Leider explains that we've been thinking about purpose all wrong. We don't find purpose, we unlock it. And he shares this brilliant formula: gifts plus passion plus values equals purpose. So let me break this down. Your gifts are your skills, your talents and experiences, everything you've learned throughout your life and career. Instead of letting them gather dust in retirement, they should be your foundation. Your passions are what energize you, what makes you lose track of time. It's not just about hobbies, it's about what truly lights you inside. Now, your values are your core beliefs. What matters most to you, the impact you want to have on the world. When you combine these 3 elements, something magical happens. Instead of falling into that permanent vacation trap, you create what Leider calls your calling or purpose. This isn't about working forever, it's about engaging with life in a meaningful way. Now let me share some real examples from people I've worked with who have retired. There's Maria. Now, she was a teacher for 35 years before retiring. Now, at first she felt lost without her classroom and her structure of working, but then she discovered how to combine her gift for education, her passion for gardening, and her values around sustainability. Today, she runs a local community garden program teaching kids about nature and sustainable living. Now then there's James. Now he was a senior accountant who thought his number crunching days were behind him. But in working his way through my online course, he realised how he could use his financial skills differently. Now he volunteers as a financial advisor for 3 local sports clubs, combining his expertise with his love of community sports. He told me just last week that he feels more fulfilled now than he ever did in his corporate world. Now, here's where I want you to pause and do something important. Now, we're going to do a quick journaling exercise. So if you have a journal or a notepad nearby, grab it now. Don't worry if you don't, you can still follow along mentally or even use your phone's notes app. The power of journaling lies in the reflection process, and research shows that people who journal about their goals are 42% more likely to achieve them. Are you ready? Now let's do this together. First, take a moment to write down your gifts. What skills have you mastered over the years? What natural talents do you have? What experiences have shaped you? Just let the thoughts flow onto the paper. You can always pause the video too. Next, write about your passions. What activities make you lose track of time? What topics do you love learning about? What did you dream of doing before real life got in the way? And finally, when you've done those, explore your values. What matters most to you? What changes would you love to see in the world? What legacy do you want to leave? Now take your time with this. As I said, pause the video if you need to. This isn't just another exercise. This can be a foundation of your purpose-driven retirement. So take your time with it. The research on purpose in retirement is compelling. People with a strong sense of purpose live an average 7 years longer than those without. They're 2.4 times less likely to develop Alzheimer's. They report significantly higher levels of happiness and life satisfaction. And perhaps most importantly, they maintain stronger social connections and feel more valued by their communities. Now, the reality is, we are living longer than ever before. The average retirement can last 20, 30 years. That's too long to spend in a permanent vacation mode. You deserve more than that. Your community needs more than that. Your legacy deserves more than that. Think about it. Every skill you've developed, every experience you've had, every lesson you've learned, these aren't meant to be packed away in retirement. They're meant to be transformed into something new, something meaningful, something that combines your unique gifts, your passions, and your values. Remember, the goal isn't to never relax or enjoy leisure time. The goal is to create a retirement that balances relaxation with purpose, enjoyment with meaning. Because when you do that, you don't just survive in retirement, you thrive in it. So I want to hear from you now. Take a moment to share in the comments what combination of gifts, passions, and values would create your ideal retirement purpose.